You know how sometimes you see a piece of art and it just stops you in your tracks? You can't look away, but you're not exactly sure why. Well, today we're going to dive deep into one stunning image, pull it apart, and figure out what makes it so special. Let's get into it. All right, so here it is. I mean, at first glance, it's just this incredible explosion of flowers and color. There's so much going on, it's almost overwhelming. But the longer you stare at it, the more you realize that every single thing is exactly where it's supposed to be. So that's the big question, right? How in the world did the artist take something like a bouquet and turn it into, well, this? Something that feels like it's from another world. So to figure that out, let's start with the first thing that hits you right in the face, the color. This is not just a random splash of pretty paint. Oh no, it's a carefully planned symphony. What the artist is doing here is really clever. They're using a classic trick, pitting warm colors against cool colors. It creates this amazing energy, like a visual tug-of-war that keeps your eyes moving and your brain engaged. Think about it. Where does your eye go first? For me, it's straight to these fiery hot spots, the intense reds, the bright oranges, those glowing yellows. That's the heart of the painting. It's passionate, it's energetic, it's where all the heat is. But if the whole thing were that intense, it would be way too much. So, to balance it all out, the artist brings in these beautiful, calming, cool tones. Check out the deep blues and purples, and the soft whites swirling around. They give the whole thing a sense of peace. And just as important, they create depth. They make it feel like a real space. And that's the real magic here. It's not the warm colors or the cool colors that make it work. It's the perfect balance between them. The fiery passion of the flowers is sort of held in place by the calm, cool world they live in. It just works. Okay, so we've got the color down, but color is kind of static, right? Let's move on to what gives this painting its incredible feeling of life, of actual movement. We're talking about the dance between light and line. Seriously, take a look. This is a flat, still image. So why does it feel like it's moving, like it's breathing? Where is all of that energy actually coming from?
Well, it all starts right up here, in the corner. See that? That's not just the sun. It's like a swirling vortex of pure energy. And notice how those beams of light shoot out across the whole scene? That's the powerhouse, the engine that's driving everything we see.
And you can almost trace where that energy goes. It flows through all these sweeping, graceful lines. You see it in the ripples of the water, the curves of the flower petals, these little misty wisps in the air. Your eye just follows them around, creating this feeling of a constant, gentle flow. So you put those two things together, that big burst of light and all those elegant flowing lines, and suddenly nothing feels frozen in place. Everything seems to be in this state of graceful motion. It's like the entire scene is taking a slow, deep breath. All right, we've looked at the big picture stuff, color and movement, but now it's time to pull out the magnifying glass. Because it's in the teeny tiny details that this painting goes from just being beautiful to being truly magical. Up to this point, we've basically been talking about this like it's a real place, maybe a super stylized garden. But is it? Let's take a much, much closer look. And here is our first big clue. Look down here in the bottom left. What is that? That is not a flower bud. It's a crystal. A perfectly cut, faceted, purple gem poking out of the water. Okay, right there, you know we're not in the real world anymore. But it doesn't stop there. Zoom in on the center of the main flowers. Those little blue bits? They're not seeds, they're not pollen. They're tiny, sparkling gems, like little sapphires. It's so easy to miss, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. And for the final piece of the puzzle, look right at the petals themselves. Do you see them? Tiny, clear, sparkling gems, nestled in there like little diamonds. This isn't just a garden, it's a treasure chest that's bloomed to life. So what does all this mean? It means we're looking at a world of what you might call magical realism. It's a dream world, an idealized, perfect version of nature, where flowers are literally made of jewels. So we've completely taken this painting apart, right? We've looked at the colors, the lines, the secret details. Now let's step back and put it all back together and see what we've learned. Okay, quick recap. We figured out how the artist uses vibrant color for energy. We traced the flowing light and lines that make it feel alive, and we discovered the hidden jewels that make the whole thing feel magical. So let's look at the whole thing one last time. It feels different now, doesn't it? Now you can actually feel that push and pull between the warm and cool colors. You can almost see the energy flowing out from the sun, and you're in on the secret of the sparkling gems. And in the end, that's the whole point. A great piece of art isn't just a list of techniques. The color, the light, the details, they all blend together to create one single powerful feeling. This is a true glimpse into one artist's idea of paradise. And that really just leaves us with one last question to think about. We just spent some time exploring someone else's perfect world. So it makes you wonder, what would your paradise look like?